right, buckle up. This one is going to be really good. Good day, everyone. Today at Gigastonks, we're going to take a look at some Wall Street Bets traders that netted six figures from a few mind-boggling trades. Of course, not financial advice. In other words, don't come crying to me if you try to replicate this and lose your inheritance or your college fund. We're going to dive right in right here. We're going to begin with Leatherneck93, who turned $3,000 into $6,000. Seems like a very interesting, well-versed guy with interests from geology to bodybuilding to Rick and Morty to the military to Tinder on Reddit. He honestly seems like somewhat of a Chad, but what's more interesting is his trading history. You see, Leatherneck93 had one lone post here back in November 2020 on Robinhood Penny Stocks subreddit, where he successfully turned $250 into $330 before dropping off and never being heard again for years. Fast forward to April 2025, and Leatherneck all of a sudden begins gambling on Tesla puts, and he's, quote, feeling the pain, down $400 on a roughly $900 investment, getting burned on Tesla, total rookie mistake. However, his despair turned to delight pretty quickly just the other day, as he declares that this might be what heroin feels like, end quote, as his now $3,000 portfolio jumps in a few hours to over $6,000. So how exactly did he do this, you might ask? Leatherneck successfully timed the jump MicroStrategy experienced Monday morning. He bought at-the-money calls before the stock price jumped 3 to 4%, and his weeklies yielded 87%. So look there on the chart, you'll see on the left is, or kind of in the center there, is where he bought the at-the-money calls and then sold them right at the high point. So he got it down. Buy low, sell high. That was a call expiring on May 9th, and he sold around May 4th. Fellow degens were quick to point out that Leatherneck is now on the hook for life because this was, after all, his first option trade, and he will be forever chasing that sweet, sweet high of the option gains and probably chasing the dragon for the rest of his life. Our second case study today is Kawkface. I'm not sure if this guy is more of a Chad or a total retard, maybe some of both. It doesn't really matter though, since his 8% play today placed him over $500,000. Unlike Leatherneck, Kawkface is a long-time retard, posting explicitly and trading in crypto since 2018 when he was trading on Cryptopia. I'd never even heard of that place before. Through 2024, Kawkface continued to grow his portfolio and display gain porn for all of Wall Street Bets to see. Many, but not all of his gains were from NVIDIA calls. For whatever reason, in 2025, he switches here to light mode, but he's still lighting it up with NVIDIA options, declaring that timing the market is better than time in the market as he plays with QQQ puts. But Kawkface's ballsiest play came just this past week when he YOLO'd his entire nearly $500,000 portfolio, $495K, into GPUS, which is hyperscale data. Now, this is a very, very interesting company. Here's a quick look at the positions. Pretty simple and straightforward. He purchased 69,420 shares. Incidentally, his entire portfolio is worth, and he sold at a 7 to 8% profit. Boring, you might think, because it's shares, but you'd actually be wrong. Hyperscale's entire company is worth $41 million in market cap, meaning that this is a penny stock, and Kawkface's trade purchased 1% of the entire company. Hyperspace, I gotta be honest, I did my research on this company, and I could not figure out why in the world this stock price was allegedly over $1 billion, not over 1 million, over 1 billion with a B, and how it dropped so far since then. Wouldn't the market cap at that stock price be like the multiple trillions of dollars? If any of you guys have that figured out, definitely comment below, because I could not figure out what the deal is with this hyperspace company. Anyway, Kawkface sold his shares on May 5th, which is a shame because the stock price ended up jumping another 10% or so, but I'm sure he's on to better things. I think Flaccid After Domino's response here summed this up pretty beautifully. Even a mod chimed in on Kawkface's ballsy penny stock play and allowed it because it was just such an amazing position to take. Our third case study today is YZF600R, who, like Leatherneck, seems on the surface to be a pretty normal guy, from gardening to owning a Volkswagen to enjoying skateboarding and the outdoors. You might even say YZF is a healthy individual, but under the surface, there is a serious case of Wall Street Bets degeneracy and retardation syndrome. You see, YZF has been engaging in degen behavior online for half a decade now, from MetaMask swaps to dipping his toe in the Wall Street Bets ocean of options to even mining and now full-on speculating on earnings. So it comes as no surprise that YZF accidentally bought calls that he meant to short on him stock. However, as the saying goes, just inverse yourself and maybe you'll finally make a profit. And that's exactly what happened here. YZF's attempted short, actually a purchase of a call, happened when him stock was around $45. And once the stock soared to over $50, the calls went along with it, yielding him nearly $8,000 in profit total from his accident. Imagine if he did it the other way around and sold like he wanted to and ended up losing his money. I guess a broken clock is right twice a day after all. Of course, this is right up our alley here at Wall Street Bets, and the reaction was overwhelmingly positive and a little bit sarcastic as well. Next, we have Culture Forsaken 3762, who's really only been performing due diligence and showing off gains for a year straight in Wall Street Bets. On Sunday, May 4th, Culture Forsaken speculated that Berkshire Hathaway stock was bound to drop heavily due to poor earnings, Buffett's retirement rumors, and eventual news. Sure enough, the Oracle of Omaha's departure did cause the stock to pop downwards about 5%, just like Culture Forsaken predicted. Because he'd purchased puts about 1.5 months out that were already in the money, he'd cashed a nice profit of around $35,000. Thanks a lot, Mr. Buffett. Our sixth trader today. First off, I gotta say I love this guy's name. TradingWhilePooping is the ultimate Wall Street Bets experience. I don't know if you've ever traded options while taking a nice, nasty dump on the toilet, but it really is a peak experience that you have to do if you're a Wall Street Bets trader. This guy's been into Dogecoin and 420 stuff for years. We'll talk more about that in a minute. He's posted Hopium for Bed Bath & Beyond right before they went bankrupt. His trading charts look kind of like a roller coaster that would make you vomit. And after 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears trading, he finally made a total of $143, or about a nickel per day for 7 years straight. But TradingWhilePooping's story is not over. On a random morning, or late night more likely, at 4:20 a.m., TradingWhilePooping hit the crown jewel of $420,694.20. Just take a look at those lines there. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? This is in his Robinhood trading account. He didn't even specify what trades he completed to get there, but Wall Street Bets didn't even care. This is just degen behavior at its finest. I'm going to go back a slide here. Look at 420,69420. It's not every day you see a portfolio so symmetrically just crown jewel, as he put it, like that. Last but not least, we have YongYuanDeShen. Last week, Yang joined Reddit and posted some delicious looking Chinese food, but that wasn't the only Chinese culture he was immersed in. You see, Yang was also keeping an eye on Chinese stocks that hadn't dropped during the trade war. And so he loaded up on Baba puts, that's Alibaba. Then Baba dropped, and then he loaded up on Baba calls, masterfully timing each option that he purchased, and huge gains both times. Here are the positions showing he consistently made thousands on options, no matter which side of the options chain he was purchasing on. But as the Patsy put it, the most impressive part of all of this is that Young knew when to stop, and that was when he was ahead. That wraps up today's Gigastonks analysis. Which of these 7 trades do you think was the most retarded? Comment below. Also make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more weekly analysis just like this. Until then, may your tendies be many and your lost porn be few.